So we've already seen how to set up a web server on our own machine using Node.js and Express. Now what we're going to do is set it up on a remote machine, so on our Amazon Web Services. Okay, so the steps we need to go through are that we're going to launch a remote machine on Amazon Web Services. We're going to connect using SSH from the client. So we now can talk to this machine. And now we're going to need to download Node.js and Express. So we've already seen the code. Let me just remind you of the code that we were using. So here is the code that we're going to run on Node. We're going to listen on port 8081. Okay, and when we hit the web server, we're going to launch this function that calculates a random number and says my lucky number is. And then if we take a different route and go to /color, then we are going to launch a different function which says my lucky color is. And we'll also went out to MIT to get the web page, but let's just keep it simple like this for now. We can add that complexity later. Okay, so we need to go to Amazon Web Services, go to EC2. I'm going to go fairly quickly through this because we've done it before. We've got no running instances, so I need to launch an instance. And we're going to select Ubuntu. Here we are, select it. And we're going to configure it now. We're going to go with the free tier machine. The defaults for this, add storage, okay. And here we're going to, now I can select an existing security group since we've already set some up. Let's go with first, we'll go with this one. So that was what we used before. And that's going to give us these ports. So in particular, we're going to be listening on 8081. Okay, so let's launch that. And now we're going to use the key pair for first. Okay, and launch the acknowledge that and launch the instance. So we better make sure that we've got that key first.pem. Yep, but we've learned how to save that. So we've launched the instance. Let's go back to EC2 and it's running. Okay, here we are. It's pending still. We haven't quite got it. Okay, so it's running. Let's select it. And we need to find out its name. So this will be its name here. I'm going to copy that. Going to bring up now, we need to talk to it using SSH. So here we go with SSH. And let's make sure we're in the right position. Yep, here's all our keys. Here's first.pem. So we can go ahead with SSH -i first.pem. Now we want to talk to Ubuntu and I already copied the address. There we go. Okay, so now you can see we're running on this machine. Now the next thing we need to download Node. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do sudo apt-get update. So this is just going to get all the latest packages. Type in now this command, curl -sl https://deb.nodesource.com #setup _8.x, and then we need to pipe that into sudo -e bash dash. Okay, so it's getting all of that. Now we need to install Node.js. Sudo apt.get install -y Node.js. Okay, so it's unpacking it. Okay, let's check we've got Node running. Yep, 7 + 4 = 11. It's running. Control C to get out of it. Yep, we're out of it. Now we need to do npm node package manager and init. So this will set up the package.json that Node needs to read from. So here we're setting up the package. We're just going to call it Ubuntu. This description, we can just hit all of these. Just license, is this okay? Yes. Okay. Now you'll see we've got a file called package.json, which Node is going to read. And now we need to install Express. npm install Express. Okay. Now we need to write a JavaScript file. Now let's go back and look at the file that we had here. We're going to copy this. Control C. Now I'm going to go into Nano to create test.js. Now I want to insert that. So we've got it here. So we can go back up, just check. There it is. And it's running on port 8081. Let's just change this to say that it's running on 8081. Now I want to Control X to save it. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me just check what's in test.js. Here it is. So that's what was in test.js, and that's what I want. So now we can run Node and pick up test.js. So that's going to run our web server. So there it is, sitting on port 8081. Let's go back and check. I just want to check now what the IP address is. So here's the public IP address. Let me do Control C on that. And now I'm going to set up a new browser. Here we are in the new browser. I'm going to paste in that and hit 8081. There it is. We're hitting our remote machine. We're launching that function. If we do /color, my lucky color is. So we've got a web server and a remote machine, and we've got a means of launching any function, and in particular, so remember here, we can launch any of these, which is pretty slick. And that's all we need to do. Okay.